Well, this is going to be amusing. Hello there, everybody. Sabanai2, aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Irae Amantes Amentes. And for the last goddamn time, the music that was playing is Einsatz. It's Einsatz, you brain-dead fuck! Sorry. I feel really dumb, like incredibly dumb, that this song I love listening to, and I can't remember its goddamn name, like a complete loon. Alright, we're going in, we're finishing this route tonight! Well, I guess this morning, for those watching. Oh my good lord, the last episode, oh my god. I can't even come up with the proper words to summarize the absolute... Well, at least I finally got to see Emanation from Ren, so this ought to be fucking good! The Spear of Destiny and the Blade of Decapitation clashed, each of our respective strikes imbued with all our strength. It would have hardly been a surprise to see the fight ended with the very first attack. However, the result was different. Even in the face of Reinhard, I stood my ground and managed to engage him in a fight. I could neither grasp the extent of my own growth, nor feel joyous about finally reaching his level. My heart raced swift in my chest, but only from the pride of having been entrusted with the hopes and dreams of my friends. I wasn't gonna let this scumbag get the wrong idea. I couldn't stomach the gleaming darkness living within his hellish golden eyes. Did he really enjoy war? Did he truly find joy in murder? Did he seriously plan to expand further, even after consuming millions? They all had their lives and dreams. People they loved, friends they treasured, and families they held dear. They might have been meaningless to outsiders, but everyone had their own stories to tell. Did this beast really take pleasure in devouring them? Also, holy shit, the scythe really got big. Oh, you freaking magnificent bastard. I didn't know the lives or deaths of every member of the Obsidian Table, but I knew enough to tell that they tried their best, like any average human would. The one before me, though, was different. Oh! Mephistopheles, the harbinger of beguiling light. He granted false dreams, power, and glory in exchange for the recipient's soul. He was the Lord of the Dead, reigning over a castle filled with an army of the enslaved unliving. Reinhard had no place in this world. Then, there was Mercurius. No matter what happened... Oh! I kicked the floating magic circle and sent myself into the air. Though it didn't have any physical mass, it gave the same opposing reaction as solid land would. Even now, it continued to grow with every single passing moment. I needed more time. I obviously had to stop it to save Himuro, but letting it spread outside the city would also mean the end of all. In other words, I had to defeat Reinhard as fast as I could. My power howled for release, my soul's density growing to unknown heights. I could easily tell that the blade of my right arm had become sharper than ever before. Its steel would put an end to Reinhardt in this ridiculous pandemonium. Oh. Ooh, this looks so good! We were both at the emanation stage. Our battle was the clash of two differing principles born of two conflicting worlds. Although I was unable to halt his time, I would never let him surpass me in terms of speed. A realm where they would not exist. Gentle and peaceful days, of course. Oh! Oh, holy shit, I just realized that there's like some sort of beast attached to Marie there. I just noticed that. It's like a lion. Holy fuck! Clashing and clinging blades, conflicting worlds. The condensation of strife and conflict spoke of the malignant nature of humanity. He was right. Even before I was taken from my day-to-day life, only to be plunged into the extraordinary, the world was still rife with plenty of wars across its globe. Even excluding brutal killings, many argued with and harbored hatred towards those they couldn't relate to. The world had always been overflowing with rejection. However, that wasn't the point I'd been trying to make. Indeed. I couldn't deny the moments I wished to become stronger. I owned my blade to win. That was another undeniable truth. That, however, I rejected with all my being. Jesus. Roll credits. As our weapons clashed at ridiculous speeds, Reinhardt gleefully spoke what he thought was the truth. He claimed it to be true bliss, what humanity actually craved. Hubris fit for a god, destructive conceit, thick with the desire to consume all creation. However, he completely misunderstood me. I had no intention of arguing against some pretentious philosophy about the truth of humanity. A moment I considered pleasant, right there before my eyes.
優しい空気が存在して
People I held dear at my side.
だったらそれを
To think of protecting that light.
欺瞞だなんて言わせない
I launched another swing, howling my words at him. The act caused the Holy Lance to go to the side, making Reinhardt back away ever so slightly.
非現実の紅葉だと
I couldn't outright deny that. People's latent wish for conflict was indeed a real thing. However, I could never approve of a world where only that and nothing else existed. How could one feel the warmth of the sun below skies tainted the color of blood?
俺の好きなものをお前に壊される覚えはないならば
Oh boy. Indeed. Two worlds were consuming one another.
私を破壊してみるがいい
You didn't have to tell me that. Even if strife was at the core of the world, I believed it still held something sacred. Upon landing, I swiftly charged at Reinhardt's flank. Considering that his stance had been ruined by the previous attack, it was unlikely he'd survive this one. But at that moment... Oh, fuck! Part of the dead under his command transformed into tanks, easily 100 in number. Each of them fixed their main cannons on me, firing in chillingly perfect unison. Shit! I fell over and rolled, barely avoiding the curtain-like barrage. What the hell was... Oh boy! Before I even got a chance to be shocked, countless bayonets jutted out from below me. My body jumped backwards instinctively, distancing me from the sea of blades. The skeletal army at my feet audibly clenched their fangs as they glared at me with murderous eyes. This was Reinhardt's emanation.
So, 私はレギオンだ
For we are many. Using the brief moment I averted my gaze from him, Reinhardt leapt forward.
何を驚いているまだ序の口だろ
He snapped his fingers.
第12ヒトラー有限と
Oh shit! A barrage of concentrated Panzerfaust fire rained down on me, leaving little to no opportunity for evasion. Instead, I readied myself to take it head on. Slashes, deflection, defense, or redirection. I used all options at my disposal to weather the ceaseless onslaught. 30, 40, 50, 60. The barrage endured with seemingly no end in sight. Christ, man. My leap only placed me about 4 or 5 meters above ground, but it was enough for his legion to deliver an attack of that caliber. Reinhardt's nonsensically vast military force seemed inexhaustible. Well, considering how many souls this guy has in him, it kind of pretty is close to being inexhaustible. Waffen-SS. Or Waffen-SS. I'm pretty sure the German don't use W, like it's usually a V pronunciation, so I'm gonna try to get that. So it'd be Wolfgang Schreiber, I think. The undead army that once fought against the whole world had found a home in Reinhardt's legion. Their morale, proficiency, and, most important of all, zealous thirst for victory gave me the kind of chills that seemed to freeze my spine to the core. Even so, that was no reason for me to falter. I finally endured what I had counted to be 100 and several tens of shots. As one challenging Reinhardt himself, I wouldn't allow myself to be taken out by an army of slaves. I had to focus on the source alone, the beast. No army would function without its commander. Suddenly... Oh shit! After piercing the explosion fumes left by the rain of panzer shells, the Holy Lance of Gold headed straight towards me.
1対1に慣れすぎたかそれでは生き残れんこれは偶然の決闘ではないぞ
He was right. I had little experience in diversified wave-based battlefield tactics.
さあどうする失望させるな
The Holy Lance was too close for me to guard against it with my right hand. Therefore, I had to strain myself to dodge it. The desperate shout calling her name was not my final breath. I had more fight in me yet. Spurred by the danger of death, I gathered my willpower and strengthened the law I was emanating. As a result, the tip of his lance entered a momentary standstill. Now was my chance! By forcing my body to bend in midair, somehow prevented the Holy Lance from reaching my neck. It was quite a risky evasion, but I didn't have time to be mindful of something like that. Upon landing, I leapt to the side and slashed at Reinhard, who was still up in the air. He defended against my attack by turning around and letting my blade clash with the lance's handle. The power of the impact filled the air with a booming echo, distancing us from one another. Damn. I landed on the magic circle and momentarily slid on it before falling to my knees. My breathing began to grow ragged. That amount of offense and defense was enough to roughen my respiration. Reinhard's pressure and the severity of his attacks obviously made it hard for me, but the conflict of our emanations was a far greater burden on my mind and body. Prolonging the battle was a bad idea. I needed to seal his movements. Like before, I had to exert myself to strengthen my law and use the opening to charge at him. Even if a perfect standstill was impossible, I just proved that it was effective. Reinhard, who also landed on his feet, regarded me with an intrigued gaze, while his undead troops, numbering in the millions, gathered around him. I couldn't let him command his army any further. The Waffen-SS was made up of almost 40 divisions, yet the combined efforts of only 3 had given me this much trouble. And repeats of that would put me in serious danger.
確かに厄介だな。その波動。よかろう。では少し思考を変えるか。
Uh-oh. His odd phrasing made me raise an eyebrow.
すでに理解したと思うが、私は私のレギオンを操れる。
Reinhard directed the Holy Lance at me and fixed his posture as if preparing to pierce me with it. I had seen the destructive power of this attack with my own eyes, and knew of the sheer threat it posed. However, he was too far away for it to work. The distance between us was a dozen or so meters, which easily put me in the safe zone. He must have been aware of that too, so what was he planning?
銃兵には銃を、砲兵には砲を。各々得意とする武器をあてがい、編成するのが指揮官の妙理だ。ありていに言えば、人を操る手だれ。それに長けていなければ将にはなれん。
Reinhard Heydrich had the rank of general. It was safe to call him the top of the military hierarchy. What about it, though? What was he getting at?
故にだ。こうは考えられんかね。私は部下のすべてを知っている。その魂、その渇望、我がベルトールに溶ける糸小さき愛児たち。彼らは私で、私は彼らだ。今やどうかしているのだよ。我々は。
The Holy Lance began to tremble as it emitted an eerie sound, filling the air with the wicked energies and the stench of blood. I knew what this sensation was. An ominous chill rushed up my spine. I had a bad feeling about this. Was he about to...
日の光はいらん。ならば夜こそ我が世界。
Oh no.
夜に無敵となる魔人になりたい。この畜生に染まる血を絞り出し、我を神聖させる短美と暴虐と殺戮の化身。闇の不死鳥。
Oh no. No. Of course he can use their power. Of course he can. Suddenly, my body was engulfed by a piercing feeling of lethargy. Of course! If you need more power, just take other people's power! It makes sense! I could no longer stand, having become too numb to have a proper grasp of my grip. Grasp of my grip? There's a sentence I never thought I'd say. It felt almost as if Reinhard was absorbing all my vitality. A bright moon sat upon the skies above, growing ever more crimson with each passing moment. We were in another world, possessing an unquenchable thirst for blood.
Sup, bitches? Thought you'd seen the last of me.
I didn't know his ability, but I could never mistake this presence. Reinhardt was using Wilhelm's creation figment.
その技は吸収略奪。私のグラズヘイムとよく似た技だが、敵の弱体化を狙うというのはあまり好みではないな。とはいえ、ケイラに敗れ去った愛児の祈りだ。ならば、一矢報いさせてやるのが親というものだろう。
Technically, it was Schreiber that did it. Technically. My fatigue and troubled breathing were proof that my body was being stripped of its physical strength. Things were looking bad. I began to doubt if I'd be able to dodge any of these attacks now.
だが、K は自分で思っているほど惰弱ではない。不撓不屈の精神を持って、ここに立った誉れ高き男だ。故に無論、舐めてはおらんよ。まだあがくかもしれん。いや、あがくだろう。ならばこそ、念には念だ。
Once again, the Holy Lance became dense with wickedness. It crawled and gathered like a shadow with a will of its own. Were they converging to release another creation figment? Which one? I looked up to see Reinhardt begin the bywords.
好みは勇気を生きし者、故に誰もが我を置き去り先に行く。
Oh shit.
追いすがりたいが追いつけない。才は届かず生の瞬間が異なる差を埋めたいと願う。故に足を引くのだ。皆底の魔性。
Is he just gonna casually pull out every single creation figment from the LDO? Christ, man!
なび立て遊べよ。シェイテハンガリアンナハツエラ。
And the fact that I can even hear their voices mingled in with his. Shadow time! The shadow leaking from the Holy Lance branched out like a hydra and closed in on me. Although this is the first time I'd seen this ability, I instinctually understood one critical fact. I had to avoid touching them no matter what. Is it Rotorspines time? Sorry. I exerted my body to run around and escape the flood of belt-like shades. Reinhardt's words made it obvious whose creation figment it was. There was no mistaking it.
その賢い足を封じてやろう。K を停止させるというのもなかなか皮肉だとは思わんかね。
Can you not? The basis of this ability was the craving to hinder, not to improve oneself, but to forcefully bring others to a standstill. I'd prefer he didn't compare my powers to something like this. My plea was to sprint, to dash as far as I had to. This standstill was the opposite of all I stood for. I couldn't let it overpower me. I had somehow been able to evade them so far, but with each passing second, Wilhelm's creation figment made me grow weaker and weaker. The shades would catch up to me sooner than later. And when they did, I would no longer have the strength to repel them. What was there for me to do? Even if it was part of Reinhardt's emanation, the ability itself was a creation figment. By principle, my rule would be above it. I couldn't hesitate. I had to do what was necessary. After quickly turning around, I used the distance I created by running around to accelerate and dive straight into the encroaching sea of shadows. I'd be forced into a standstill the moment I touched him, and I knew Reinhardt wouldn't miss an opportunity like that. As such, I decided to use it to my advantage and turn the situation around. Thus... I plunged myself into Natsira and swung my blade straight into the heart of its shadowy mass. Though it made the shades vanish like mist, touching them greatly reduced my speed. As expected, Reinhardt took the opportunity.
止まったな。
A rich aura of divinity cradled the spear of destiny, its spiritual power shifting into a destructive energy soon to be unleashed upon me.
加減はせんぞ。もはやそんなものは生涯せん。ここで終わるならそれまでのことよ。私は星々の果てまで怒りの火を進軍させる。 アウフ・ヴィーターゼンとはならぬことを祈ろうか。
And with that, a colossal explosion of golden light burst forth before my eyes. His destructive torrent of spiritual power closed in on me without a shred of restraint. He was certainly not lying about that part. I still felt myself somewhat hindered by the remnants of the immobilizing curse. Though I could still move, evasion was a fool's errand. However, I never once intended to evade it. My idea was far too reckless to be called a plan, but it was about all I had in mind. I took on the destructive light by using my blade as a shield. The impact made me feel like I was about to boil and evaporate. My limbs convulsed, my capillaries burst, and even my eyes began to leak blood. I couldn't give in to something like this. No matter how many war slaves were following Reinhardt, his connection with them was based entirely on domination and servitude. They could never sever our bonds. Yes, our bonds. I wasn't alone! My clenched teeth began to break, my fingernails were being torn away, and my bones were cracking, but none of it mattered to me. I begged them to lend me their strength. We had to display our legion, a group knit far tighter than Reinhardt's army.
Sakurai!
I heard her voice back there.
Shiro!
We've been a team for far too long for us to stop now. Ravaged by the Raging Gold's destruction, I gave my all into summoning them, to make them gather and assemble. There was no need for any flashy phrases. With my own words, mind, and soul, I tried to get them to hear me. They clearly weren't the type to let me and Marie hog all the spotlight for the final battle. I knew them well enough to guess that. And so, moments before the explosive light burst forth, they answered my call in a fittingly stylish way, smiles decorating each of their faces. And in that moment, the impossible happened. Impossible for him, at least. The light from Reinhardt's lance had been deflected. Not only that, but it went straight for the sanguine moon hanging far above, instantly shattering the cage of thorns. He considered if that was part of his opponent's plot. If anyone wished to prolong the battle, their greatest obstacle was Kazikulu Bey's life-absorbing moonlight and night of blood-stained roses. As the boy couldn't reach the distant moon, he had a projectile destroy it for him. It was far too ridiculous to be called a tactic. A plan based on deflecting Reinhard Heydrich's most powerful attack was pure insanity by that virtue alone. This entire novel is pure insanity, and I love it! Sorry. His strike encompassed all his strength, no doubt about that. No attacks had failed him before, nor was he at the peak of his strength during past occasions. Consequently, what had just unfolded before him was an impossibility. Had he known what men called pride, the shock would have left his shattered into countless pieces. But that was exactly why. Something alien escaped his lips. Of course, he knew full well what it was, and had done it on numerous occasions in the past. However, it was an absolute first. It had never happened before. It was his first time doing it, so it came out blatantly shoddy. He wished to somehow express his emotions, yet what poured forth from his lips sounded akin to sobbing. Indeed, it might have been just that. He couldn't tell, for he had neither experienced it either. Reinhard no longer cared. He only wished to cry, and hoped to be enlivened. His being was a new world, freshly born. Thus, the sound leaving his mouth was akin to an infant's first cry. That might be the most legitimate laugh I've ever heard him utter. With a roaring laughter that shook the very heavens, Reinhard Heydrich came to know joy. It was the very first time he laughed in earnest. He watched as the miracle, no, the surpasser that made it happen, erased the devastating curtain of magic and still stood before him. Oh. Oh my god! That looks so fucking cool! His was yet another legion. And there's freaking Shiro's chains. Both one and the boundless Alpha and Omega. At its core, however, it was completely unlike Reinhardt's. The man's was based on dominance and servitude, while the boy's had its core in love and friendship. As the one reigning over an army of slaves, the beast acknowledged the boy as his opposite.
美しい
No other description fit the sight. A total of 3 Ananerabe revolved around Ren, like guardian stars intent on protecting him. Yeah, there it is. Oh my god, wait. I just now realized it. There's Kay's blade and frickin' Beatrice's blade. I'm sorry, I'm just... One was Elizabeth Bathory, the book wielded by Shiro after he plundered it from Rusalka Schwaglin. Another was Charlacrote, Kei Sakurai's blade. Although shattered into tiny pieces during the opening of the 8th, it had miraculously rebuilt itself. However, it was the third weapon that caught Reinhardt's attention, for its presence felt odd. It's powerful, its power difficult to make light of.
スルーズワルキューレ
He did find it peculiar that he couldn't find her soul anywhere.
そこにいたのか注意よ
The beast had always thought she would become an excellent Einarjar, but now he knew that she stood against him. His chest filled with a fresh sensation of joy, his body invigorated by the unknown that followed in its wake. To Reinhardt, it truly was a splendid sight to behold. A world with so many people willing to bare their fangs at him would only elevate the radiance of his supremacy to never-before-seen heights. Naturally, the beast did not forget the beauty of the one leading the rebels.
生物を操るための生物
Compatibility was irrelevant to that thing. With the exception of Reinhardt's own holy lance, the boy was the only one able to control all and any Ananerabe. Thus, it was fair to believe him to be more than a match for the beast.
私が犯した罪は
Forgive me, for I have sinned.
心からの信頼においてあなたの命に反したこと
Born of loyalty, your will I once defied. The Valkyrie's blade revolved as lightning coursed through its steel. The aria of her very soul echoed across the skies.
私は愚かであなたのお役に立てなかった
Forgive me, for I am not but a fool, never your equal. Reinhardt was pleased to see it happen. It made for fine theater. After looking into his tastes for entertainment, he took it upon himself to conduct the opera and make it even more spectacular.
だからあなたの炎で包んでほしい
Let your crimson pyres have their fill. Indeed, pyres. The energy rising from the Holy Lance became exuberant, illuminating Reinhardt's entire body. The crimson heat waves turned into a demonic blaze. Of course! As soon as Beatrice's blade pops up, immediately freaking Samuel, Eleanor just has to come and just freaking come in. Why the hell not? Their power was out of this world. They came from one of Einarjar's residing within the Devil's Castle. The woman known as the Crimson Rubido.
我は輝きに焼かれる者届かぬ星を追い続ける者届かぬゆえに空尊く尊いがゆえに離れたくないおお追い続けようどこまでも我は御身の胸で焼かれたい逃げ場なき炎の世界
The tip of the lance was engulfed in whirling hellfire, building a path as it created the world of the demonic artillery's barrel. Reinhardt had no aversion to embracing and holding her near his chest.
我が槍を恐れるならばこの炎を越すこと許さぬ
Oh boy. For he who fears the tip of my lance shall never pass through the river of flames. But first, he had her seize the grace of a girl she once released.
ブリア
この騒音なるものを燃やし尽くす
thunder and flame alike became swords. The two Valkyries stood ready to have an earnest exchange of word and blade.
トール当店タンツマルキュリア
On lightning I dance, for I am Valkyrie,
ムステルヘイムレバテン
carrying sword of inferno. The clash of lightning and blaze was reminiscent of a quarrel between two sisters. The flames spiraled and made a path. Everything outside the space between me and Reinhardt was separated, leaving us in an inescapable tunnel-like realm. No, it wasn't a tunnel, but a gun's barrel. Also, as I'm recording this, it's storming like crazy outside right now, so shit! The truth behind her demonic artillery's precision wasn't in heat-seeking warheads or the size of the explosion, but in this world. Nowhere to run meant no evasion. The flames rushing through the barrel left no inch untouched. Being fast meant nothing. I had no choice but to try and withstand it. However, this also presented a valuable opportunity. Most would think that one could only act like a turtle in this situation, so I chose to not do it. It was a seriously dangerous move, but I couldn't go without trying it. I dashed straight towards the encroaching wall of Hellfire. My intention was to break through it. Strangely enough, I instinctually knew why the third Ananerbe was here, but had no time to explain. All that mattered was that she was helping me, with her lightning actively engaging the wall of flame before us. Breaking through felt more than possible. Shiro and Sakura were at my side as well. Whether or not it was possible mattered little. I simply had to make it happen. Reinhardt was likely not expecting to receive a counterattack. He'd be there beyond the wall, defenseless. I felt my breathing severely hindered as the burning atmosphere gradually stripped the vicinity of oxygen. I didn't mind it though. If stopping my breathing was what I had to do to reach him undetected, I'd do it for 100 years and more. I could hear my blood boil and smell the reek of my scorched flesh, but none of it mattered. Not one bit. Mustering all my strength and willpower, I finally broke through that infernal wall. When I reached the other side, the Golden Devil was in my blade's range.
こちらがな
However, his lips formed an unexpected smile. Even though I was clearly ahead of him, I began feeling as if the time axis had suddenly been reversed. Oh no! No!
苦を恐れる接触を意味
I fucking knew it!
とは背後に広がる歴殺の輪立ち
Oh, of course!
ただ忘れさせてほしいと切に願う全てを置き去る呪わしき夢は狂乱の檻へ我はただ最速の殺意でありたいむさぼりし教授
Plot twist. He accidentally summons a fucking motorcycle, and even Reinhardt's like, what the hell?
皆滅びるがいいニブルヘイム・フェンリスボル
The all-devouring beast of the abyss. As absurd as it may have been, Reinhardt successfully caught up to and surpassed me. He countered my counterattack. I could hardly believe it, but Reinhardt was now faster than me. I curbed my astonishment by mustering my willpower. If this was his game, I only had to play along and win against him. When it came to time, I had the home field advantage. Losing such a battle was not on my bucket list. I held the next word with all my heart and soul. At the same time, I swung my guillotine while evading his attack. The thrust from his holy lance pierced my defenses, while my slash split apart more than 100 of his Schutzstaffel troops. Schutzstaffel. And the result was... a tie. A chunk of my side had been removed in the clash, while Reinhardt was left with a cut on his shoulder. I just realized something. Our battle so far had been fierce without a doubt, yet this was the first time we managed to physically harm the other. The thick stench of blood and the feeling in my arm told me that I had cut into his indestructible flesh. Reinhardt himself was aware of it as well. And he's enjoying every bit of it. And yet he was laughing, as if he found this disgusting sensation the greatest bliss of all. Well, considering how powerful he is, imagine how long it's been since he's actually felt pain.
すぐ病みつきとなる私をしてもうなった己の血が熱いはあ私は今 生きている。
Oh my god. Reinhard lanced at me with overwhelming... Don't you mean... Wait. Did you... Fuck it. Going with it. Reinhard is so... He can freaking... My grammar messed up here. Reinhard lanced at me with overwhelming ferocity, ready to drown out even his roaring laughter. I deflected his attack, and the power of the impact sent us both flying in opposite directions. I sprung back on my own 2 feet and charged at him with all my might. This time, Reinhard deflected my attack. And we were distanced from each other yet again. Banal? There were no tactics, only an exchange of numerous strikes carrying all our fervor and strength. Our fight was like that of 2 children, a fierce clash of futility and thoughtlessness. At the same time, however, it was a display of our ultimate power.
なるほど、カールよ。確かにそうだ。究極に近くなるほど陳腐になる。ならばさらに絞り出さねばなるまいよ。
The same was true for me. I could only continue what we'd been doing. Our attacks were unrefined, clumsy, and completely ignored the opponent's defenses. But that was exactly what made them so lethal. Resorting to any kind of guile would only result in getting devoured by the raging wind surrounding us. Therefore, there was only one thing left for me to do. We both had to focus on the conflict between our emanations, the tug-of-war between our laws, based entirely on simple willpower. Thus, I cleared my mind. Oh, sorry, this looks so cool. And bid my soul against his to fight him through the night of Dies Irae. Uh-oh. At that moment, the will of the Crucible voiced a shout. Not yet. This is too early. He had yet to finish expanding. Gladsheim began to expand without waiting for the delivery, and was about to destroy the birth canal. Unless it stopped soon, Isak would vanish. It was far too unlike his idea of nativity. Isak thought that, in exchange for being celebrated, the man would bless him with affection. But he no longer appeared to be necessary. The external OS wasn't expanding. The world of standstill hindered his delivery. Isak believed that Reinhard fought for his sake. He thought the beast was eliminating the hindrance. It seemed as though Isak himself was considered an obstacle, and the man was getting rid of him for being too narrow and thus useless. It all seemed so. Within the birth canal, creaking under the pressure of the 2 conflicting worlds, Ray heard Isak's lamentation. A bastard child, rejected, dreaded, and uncelebrated. Right until his final moment. He asked the man he thought to be his father. Instead of disdain, his voice was thick with dependence. Isak clung on to the hope that someone, even if it was but a single person, would embrace him. He couldn't let go of that craving. Ray's words wouldn't reach him, nor would the hand she extended. She could only watch as Isak Ein Sonnenkind was erased by his father's hand, never once needed by any. And Shambhala's magic circle vanished. The birth canal burst, and the realm of the dead, free from the narrow cage, began to expand at an explosive pace. Attempting to stop it, the realm of standstill grew in power as well. Oh my god! The growing conflict of the 2 hegemonies finally reached the critical point. As for what that meant, it could be described with a piece of paper. On it would be a picture representing foreknowledge, 2 fresh colors, Standstill, and the dead vied for supremacy upon one of its corners, the realm of Shambhala. Their struggle would be a ceaseless back and forth, one painting over the other and vice versa. The two colors differed in their nature. Standstill was a pencil, while the dead amounted to the paint being released onto the paper directly from a tube. That very tube, the birth canal, had burst open. It ended up hindering the paint's efforts to fight the speed of the pencil's spread. Oh god, and epilepsy warning! The result of that was obvious. The combination of relentless pencil strokes and fierce recoloring tore open a hole in the paper before the picture was even close to being finished. Indeed, a hole. That was the result of reaching the critical point. Defining such a thing was no easy task. Though the paper served as the stage, the resulting phenomena was neither picture nor color. To call it the singularity of the world would be the most apt. The size of the hole was unknown. It could have been large enough to engulf Shambhala, great enough to go beyond that, or perhaps even small enough to fit on the tip of a needle. Regardless of its size, the singularity had manifested itself, and the ones responsible for making it appear had fallen into it. What would they find below the paper? I don't know, let's find out and jump in! Wait, let's jump in and find out, that's better. Mercurius? Beyond the hole lay this place. It was a perfectly blank slate, harboring no color, but open to any. It was a fitting location for the final battle.
新世界へ今我々が全ての中心にある
Dear God, seeing how close the blade is to his neck versus the lance to freaking Ren, holy shit. Thus, the curtains rose on the final Grand Gunal. The previous conflict was great enough to numb my consciousness, and before I realized it,
ようこそ
I found myself in this place.
新世界へ今我々が全ての中心にある
As Reinhard and I faced each other, another man stood between us with a calm smile on his face. I'd never met him, but I could never mistake that voice and face. He was me. His physical appearance resembled mine so much that it made my mind go amiss.
物水だぞ、カール。
And that was exactly how I had become certain of his identity. He was Mercurius, Karl Croft, the vice commander of the Obsidian Table. Alessandro de Cagliostro.
まだ終わっていない。横槍はいらん。
別にそんなつもりはないのですがね
There was absolutely no formality in the way he nonchalantly brushed away Reinhard's daunting. His were the mannerisms of someone not inclined to do anything.
ただここの貴重さはあなたにもわかるはずだむやみやたらな重ね塗りなどできればしてほしくない木は木のままに真っ白い画布に描く絵は最初の一筆一色のみで良いでしょうその方が美しかろうと私は思うここを基地の世界のごとく何色も混沌とさせてまた穴をうがつようでは忍びないそれはもはや流出ではなく落下だあなたはそうして彼とどこまでも穴の底へ落ち続けるのかそれが望みと君にも問うここを雑食で汚したいかね
A single glance was enough for me to comprehend this place and its nature. Marie used to linger here, but the place was deserted once she had emanated with me. Visually, it remained the same, but if I were to borrow his words, it did resemble a picture frame. At its core, it was a completely blank slate. In other words,
ここで流出は使うなと誰のものを主とするかが決まるまではね
oh shit.
言ったようにこのまま続けたところでまた穴が開くだけだキリがないしそして何よりここを汚すのは忍びない 故にご両人よろしいか。
In response,
K もそうするのだな、カール。
Mercurius's eyes momentarily lit up, his lips forming a faint smile.
へえ、いつもそうしていた。私は何もしない。
His grin resembled that of a child whose mischievous deeds have been revealed. Of course, the decision of whose emanation would lord over the land would not be made through words alone. There was no change on that front. The battle would only become more plain and we would settle it in a more simplistic manner. So, I was actually thankful for this.
それでいかがか。
いいだろう。
Reinhard nodded,
ああ、文句はない。
and so did I. There was no change in the fact that I'd have to defeat him. And... no, didn't matter. I wasn't stupid, so I could easily see the best outcome to this. What happened afterwards didn't matter right now. I couldn't approve of Reinhard's emanation, so I had to focus only on eliminating him. I would give my all for that cause alone.
K はいいのか。
無論。だがあなたの手にかかるのは嫌だな。
His smile was a mixture of resentment, amity, and pity. Reinhard's expression shifted to one colored by complex emotions, the kind I had not expected to see from a man so characterized by pride and haughtiness. I too had become aware of Karl Krafft's, Mercurius's true nature. After reaching the emanation stage, I began to perceive his being as equal to mine. I could now easily understand why Marie saw this man in a special light. He was none other than...
では行こうか。ここでは手狭だ。
Okay. After taking a step back, Reinhard swung his holy lance in a wide arc. That act alone was enough to split the sea apart. It extended right down the horizon, reminiscent of the miracle Moses performed. So that was where we'd settle it. Fine by me.
カール。
Reinhard turned away from us and began walking by his lonesome, addressing the man he had called a friend.
大義だ。K の友情、嬉しく思う。私は全ての望みを叶えられた。未知も、全力も、そして神殺しも。
Buddy, if you wanted to slay God, I'd recommend Shin Megami Tensei.
K もここでなら憂いなくいけるだろう。好きにするがいい。ただ
He added a certain regret.
私がもっと早くに気づいていたら K と直接矛を交えていただろう。その気を逸したのが残念といえば残念だ。
Oh hell, that would be an amazing battle. Friggin' Mercurius versus Reinhard. That'd be interesting. Dies Irae would be the day of the final judgment, and Mephistopheles of the Beguiling Light was a being who wished to challenge the gods above. Such was his greatest desire. Failing to realize that it had always been right under his nose made the beast curse his own blindness. In response, Mercurius...
そこはお許しよ。私は友人と争うことなどしたくない。あなたは最高でありましたよ、ハイドリヒ閣下。さらば、私の二人目。
Bye, trash bag coon.
ああ。
With their backs towards each other, the two separated in silence. I had some things to settle as well.
マリ。
Oh! What's up, girl? I don't know where the hell you were. After materializing Marie and seeing the complicated expression she made, I placed my hand on her head, smiling. I tried to make it as natural as it could be.
すぐに勝って戻ってくるから、待っててくれよな。それから。
I looked over Marie's shoulder, making sure not to meet her gaze, and addressed the other man, intent on confirming a certain something with him.
先輩はどうなった？
The swastika had burst. It was the birth canal meant to unleash Gladsheim, and I stopped the external OS from spreading. When Reinhardt's legion grew too large, it tore the womb apart, destroying the parent body in the process. That was all my fault, and unless I confirmed Himuro's safety, I'd enter the final battle with hesitation still gnawing at my heart. That was something I had to avoid no matter what.
消滅したのはイザーク。
Ah.
イザーク？君は知らぬだろうが、そういうものがいたのだよ。いささか哀れではあったがね。まあ、それはよい。
Yep, it kinda makes sense.
君の友人なら存命だよ。意識があるかどうかは不明だが、穴の周囲にたゆたっているだろう。何もしなければ何にもならん。
His habitually implicative speech was the same as always, which meant that something could happen.
何もしなければだな。何もさせなければね。
Oh. Marie weighed in.
私も行く。一緒に行くよ。
いや。
That was not an option. I couldn't let her see what would happen from this point on.
ここにいろ。
でも。
She must have realized it by now. After all, Marie was no idiot. But I wanted her to become one just this once. There was no business even considering who the biggest fool would be here.
行かせてあげたまえ、マルグリット。待てというなら待てばいい。それとも、私と二人でいるのは嫌かね。
そういうわけじゃ。
Marie stood between us and didn't know who to look at. 2 versus 1. It wasn't particularly pleasant to have him agree with me, nor was I ready to leave Marie in his care. But there was no other way. Stifling the sudden welling of emotions within me, I addressed the ominously grinning man.
お前の一人目だろ。始末つけてもらえ。ああ、そうしてもらおう。だが一つ、断りを入れておくが。例えばマキナやクリストフ、彼らは特殊な質を発現させたことで、秘宝のルールにあまり縛られない。常時形成状態であったりとかそういうことだが。私もそれと同じだ。常時暴走させているから一蓮托生ではない。獣殿もわきまえている。そこは念頭に入れておきたまえ。
I'm just...
そうかよ。
So he was seeing right through me. Whatever.
じゃあ、行ってくるよ。
Gotta protect her. Ignoring Marie's attempts at speaking up, I took off in pursuit of Reinhard. Turning back was not an option. This place would soon be the source of the new world. Only one of us would be left while the others were fated for elimination. Even I knew who was the best suited for the role.
さようなら、マリー。
Whispering a silent farewell, I headed straight towards the decisive battle. Oh boy. She awoke from a dream that felt both long and short. Still in a daze, the girl glanced at her surroundings. She couldn't understand why she was in this place.
教室。
Kasumi? Her memory might have been a haze, but she felt certain that she never came here on her own. Someone must have carried her here, but she had no idea who it was. The girl must have been unconscious for a long time. Just trying to get up made her whole body scream in agony as her joints creaked. She felt almost like a bedridden patient opening her eyes for the first time in a long while. Or perhaps a deceased person coming back to life. While dealing with that unpleasant sensation, the girl tried to search her memories, starting with the freshest one. It came back to her, a memory that felt both dreamlike and real.
レアさん
Kasumi looked outside, only to witness something that made her eyes open wide.
何あれ
The sky had a hole in it. There was no better way to describe it. She didn't know its size, but could easily tell it was large enough to cover the whole city. Kasumi felt like she had to confirm it. What she did next was logical and indeed not the least bit strange. However, beyond those reasonable thoughts, a certain otherworldly feeling had reared its head as well. The sensation of being sucked into that very hole.
屋上
What served as the whole center? What was the extent of its spread? And what happened to the city below it? She needed to know. She'd have to take to higher ground in order to confirm all that. But that was only one of the reasons why she headed for the rooftop. Once again, the name left her lips. The rooftop was the place they had talked at, the place where they promised to meet. All of that was probably a dream, but she felt as if she could meet them all if she went there. Even if she found the rooftop empty, it wouldn't matter. Kasumi would stand up and shout as loud as she could. She called out to them, begging them to come back, fully confident that her voice was loud enough for her friends to hear. She would be the light to guide them in the darkness. She wasn't aware that it had been 24 whole hours since a deadly silence enveloped the entire city. Holy shit, it's already been 24 hours! One by one, lights flickered back on. Souls devoured by the Devil's Castle began to gradually return, released from its hold. Oh!
私はここにいるから
Kasumi shouted from the rooftop as she looked up at the sky far above the shattered tower, right into the center of the hole, where something began to unfold. And
まさか勝負を投げたわけでもあるまいが
I faced Reinhardt for the last time, ready to settle it once and for all.
なぜ彼女を置いてきた私を単独で倒せるとでも
倒すさ
I assumed a stance, not even thinking of giving up. However,
ただ邪魔者は全員消えるべきだと思っただけだ
ほう
まずお前はありえない
I had to prevent him from becoming the Emanator, the creator of the new world. I had to defeat him, even at the cost of my own life.
決死か
不満か
I poured my soul into the guillotine on my right arm. Without Marie by my side, that was all I could do. And it was for the best.
むしろ今までが不公平だこれが最後なら男同士1対1だろ
So we can still summon the... Okay. 4 people in total possessed souls that had reached the stage of emanation. Me, Marie, Reinhardt, and Mercurius. However, the fight was only between me and him. My consideration for fair play was only a facade. In truth, I simply wanted to keep Marie away from blood and battle. I'd make sure that she was the last one standing. A girl to paint the world anew. As such, I didn't want her to be tainted by the color of blood and war. I wanted her to paint a world where everyone could find peace. It felt only natural for me to think that way. I didn't find anything strange about it.
おかしい奴らはおかしい奴ら同士退場しようって言ってるんだよそもそも俺は柄じゃない
Being the creator of the new world was a role too heavy for a dumb little brat. I didn't have the capacity and my rule was far too great of a nuisance.
自分と自分の好きな奴ら以外みんな止まってしまえ
A hope for the present to become eternal.
そんな世界でどうすんだよ正直ここに落ちてきてよかった
If we continued that battle and I defeated Reinhard, my rule would have emanated onto the world, and it would have been far worse than foreknowledge or whatever.
異なる他者への排撃。
Unavoidable conflict.
俺もそっち側の人間なんだ。要するに、お前と一緒で凡人なんだよ。
I wasn't fit to love all the people in the world. My world would likely reject most of them. All I'd gone through recently stood as clear proof of that. Wilhelm, Rusalka, Sister Lisa, Father Trifa, Spine, Samuel, Schreiber, Machina, Karl Kraft, Reinhard Heydrich. I couldn't tolerate any of them. We clashed, disagreed, and even killed one another. Like I was about to do right now.
お前らを許容することは今でもできない。だからほら、わかるだろ。俺は器じゃないんだよ。
My words are brimming with resolve.
お前と一緒でな。
Neither of us could be God. Upon hearing me out,
はい、わかった。
Reinhard readied himself, pointing the Holy Lance in my direction. I could feel his entire army, each and every soul gather within it.
文字通り、差し違える覚悟だと。いいだろう。ならば全てを燃やし、真実の健康一滴を放つがいい。強さには2種ある。他者のためのもの、己のためのもの。そこに優劣はなく、差が出るとすれば信仰だ。己こそが絶対と自負するか。
He earnestly believed himself to be supreme.
他者こそが絶対と祈るか。
While I believed Marie to be the girl fit to be one with all creation.
女神の騎士を気取るなら、その覚悟を貫くがいい。蔑みはせぬし、敬意も払おう。ただし、失望だけはさせるなよ。
お前があげる断末魔なら。
I took a deep breath, and a moment later, lit my soul ablaze.
約束するけどな。
I cared little about having my soul scorched to cinders in the process, and instead pled for Marie, my goddess, to grant me victory.
信じてる。
I felt certain of it. The world she painted would be a true paradise. I believed that with all my heart. Unlike my emanation, warped by mediocrity, hers would give birth to the true Shambhala. Thus, I chose to die here. Upon erasing Reinhard's Gladsheim, I would become a paving stone for Marie's world. I harbored no doubts, felt no hesitation. If I had to name but one regret, it was that my actions here would likely leave Marie disillusioned with me. That alone cast a faint shadow upon my heart.
まあ、
It wasn't something that could be settled through words.
かすみにも言ったことだけど。
That was the way.
そういうもんなんだよ。
Roaring the words, I dashed towards my enemy.
来い。
The Holy Lance, dense with spiritual power, emitted its greatest might yet. Even in a state of non-emanation, the energies giving birth to Reinhard's destructive prowess hadn't shrunk one bit. That same could be said of me. I focused my life force and burned it as fuel for this single attack. Everything had to end with it. Discarding any and all thoughts of defense, I unleashed a strike that would be my last. The Holy Lance of Gold, commanding overwhelming destructive force, soared through the air. Its speed rivaled Schreiber's. It possessed Eleanor's accuracy and struck with all-ending lethality reminiscent of Machina. Its tip went straight for my heart, while my blade went for his neck. Both our weapons cut into flesh at the very same moment. We couldn't evade, nor did we wish to. The long-lasting Grand Gunal's final chapter, Dies Irae, would reach its conclusion within a heartbeat. She stood on the shore and did nothing besides that, as if nothing had changed.
あなたに恋をした。
By her side stood a certain magician's shadow-clad silhouette.
あなたにひざまずかせていただきたい、花よ。
Words he had uttered upon their very first meeting, words Marie didn't know how to return. Nothing had changed. Everything was as it had always been. His words remained far beyond her comprehension, rendering Marie unable to figure out how best to respond. However, that was only true when her knowledge was limited. Now that she came to understand the world, know the people within it, and expand her horizons, Marie could easily discern his intentions. His words contained a hidden meaning. There was only one reason why Karl Kraft, Cagliostro, would repeat what he had said in the past. He simply wanted to see a reaction different to the one from before. It was essentially meaningless, yet his focus on form rather than substance was enough for her to see his message. Mercurius wanted her to repaint his world of foreknowledge. Therefore,
私にやれとあなたは言うのね。
Marie voiced that straightforward question.
ああ、そうだよ。その通りだ。
The shade smiled. Even though his expression was no different from what it had always been, Marie felt as though it was her first time seeing him like that.
それが一番よかろうと思う。もしこの場に観客がいれば満場一致なのではないかな。
Hey, dude, I'm just trying to record videos and have fun with people. Don't freaking call me out like this. They were in a perfectly blank singularity. The most fitting candidate to use this place as the source of their emanation was clear and evident.
もともと君がいた場所だろう。ゆえに馴染みやすいのは言うに及ばず。他二人の渇望は客観的に見て問題が多すぎる。修羅道の具現と停止の具現。そんなものが流れ出した日には皆が困ろう。終わらない殺戮の世界か、時間の流れがない世界か。どちらも死人の楽園だ。
Though his words rang with the tune of a hollow jest, he wasn't particularly wrong about their worlds pleasing no one. A third party would likely settle for neither.
途中で消したりはできないの？
できぬね。事実、それは無理だった。一度流れ出せば覆い尽くすまで広がって永続し、新しい誰かが塗り替えてくれるまでは決して消えん。今は得意点に落ちるという事象のおかげで流れが強制的に止まっただけだ。筆が穴に落ちたから画布の上では絵の具が放置されている。原則、絵が完成するまで筆は止まらず、完成すれば己でやり直せないのだよ。どうしようもない。
Which brought them to the necessity of what he had proposed, and the reason why he had yearned for this moment. He never put it into words. There was no need to.
でも私とレンは一緒だよ。
さて、本当にそうだろうか。
Marie strongly opposed the implications of that phrase.
一緒だもん。
They both wished for the same thing, shared the same dreams, and ran towards the same goal. As someone who fervently believed that to be true, she couldn't ignore the shade's remark. As she continued, her voice became more powerful.
私でもレンでも流れ出てくるものは変わらないよ。だって一緒にいたんだから。一緒に笑って泣いて戦って
Struggled.
愛して。
Marie believed they had become one, and that there was a connection between them. Based on that, she could assert that they had the same desire. A mere supposition it may have been, but Marie did not wish to hear it denied. Not even by Cagliostro.
大事なの、この気持ちが。だからそんなこと言わないで。 私たちを合わせたのに、今さら引き離そうとするのはどうして？
I'm kind of fickle like that, believe it or not. An emanation could overwrite any other emanation. Therefore, when the color of the new world had to be decided, no other hue could exist. If Ren and Marie were different colors, they would have to part ways.
彼は察していたようだが。
レンは時々頭悪いの。かっこつけるのが好きだから、物分かりがいいような顔をすぐしたがるの。したふりするの。本当は全然平気なんかじゃないくせに。
Even if he's sad enough to cry, scared enough to run away, or bearing through great pain, he'd always force himself to endure it while pretending he was fine.
バカなの。
There it is! And that was the part of him she loved.
文句言ってやりたいから、しばらくずっとこのことでいじめたいから。
She didn't want to be away from him again.
私、そんなの信じないよ。あなたが何を言ったって。
Mercurius's gaze betrayed no hint of negativity as he witnessed Marie's grief, but that didn't mean he had given up. Maintaining his gentle tone, he gave the girl a question even more cold-hearted than the one that came before.
では君の言う通りだとしよう。だがその場合どうするのだね。二人だけを残し全てが止まった世界で永遠にか。別に非難はしないが、そうなっても構わんと。
それは。
She knew she had no excuse. Ren would never allow such a conclusion. Initially hesitant and at a loss for what to say next, Marie finally, though with some reluctance, raised her head. If the worlds each candidate would emanate had their own set of problems,
今のままじゃダメなの？
was it possible to prolong the olden world of foreknowledge? Was there a problem with that? In response to Marie's desperate plea, the man
ダメだね。
shook his head, uttering but a single word.
それだけは認められん。私の友が許さんし、彼への裏切りになる。ありえんよ。そもそも誰かの流出によってここを溢れさせなければ穴の外には出られない。今のあちら側に我々と魂でつながっているものなど皆無だろう。引っ張り上げてくれる者がいないのだから、自力で出るしか法はなく。
And the only power that would allow them to leave was an emanation.
故に私は資格なしだ。このまま英語をここにいるか、誰かに排除してもらうか。それを君に求めたいのだが、いけないのかな。
Finding no answer to his question, being utterly without any idea what to do next, Marie fell silent. Regardless of whether or not her and Ren's emanations differed, things wouldn't work out. Returning to the world of foreknowledge or allowing Reinhardt's world to expand were equally out of the question.
じゃあ
She thought it might be best for her to stay here with Ren for all eternity, never bothering anyone. That was probably Marie's only option. She had some regrets. It would mean breaking her promise. Her dream of attending school with everyone else would vanish like mist, but
嫌だ。
she didn't want to be separated from Ren. Marie wished to be by his side for all time. This was the only thing she could do. Her hand reached out. Slowly, gently, and with notable trembling, it closed in on the creator of the world of foreknowledge. Marie was once told something, a phrase she locked within her heart, never letting go. To share a touch meant to hurt one another. Murderous intent. She wished to end a life. Marie was about to touch the man before her with the intention to kill him.
ああ、いい子だね。
His smile gleamed with supreme joy that might as well have been pride. The man was exceedingly satisfied with all the events that had led up to this conclusion.
ここでなら 私の入滅が他を巻き込むこともない。さあ、マルグリット。私に未知の死を教えてくれ。
Regardless of Marie's intentions, touching him would begin an emanation. He had not forgotten his oath from that distant day. A vow made as he witnessed her final moments below the sharp gaze of the guillotine.
いずれ必ず。
To grant her freedom.
あなたを解き放ってみせると誓う。
As one deeming her worthy of becoming the goddess cradling the new world, he would not spare a moment for hesitation.
なぜなら、君にとって真実の渇望はね。
Moments before he touched him, Mercurius, assured of his victory, uttered something in a joyous manner.
抱きしめたい。だよ。
Unaware that those words were enough to make it all crumble. She considered what she could do, and thought about what course of action she should take. Ren recalled Isak as he disappeared right before her eyes. Irae, sorry. She probably had to save him, to talk with him and find out if it was possible to fulfill his desire through other means. However, she was unable to do anything but watch as he dispersed, visibly overwhelmed by crushing despair. His powerlessness pained her heart to no end. She felt hopeless, knowing she could never become the heroine. Rhea had an incurable tendency to give up and not get involved. Had she not been the person she was now, her actions here might have played out differently as well. A sickening surge of regret filled her heart to the brim. It was a feeling she wanted no more of. Rhea carefully considered her options.
まず、第一に目を開けよう。
So she could understand everything they reflected.
耳を澄まして。
So she could hear the throbbing.
声に出したい。
So she could say what she had to do.
そして、助けたいよ。
Rhea wished to do all that was in her power. Indeed, her eyes were always closed, her ears always covered. Her manner of speech was straightforward to prevent her from saying too much, while her sense of smell was rendered unable to pick up the vile stench of suspicion. Then, to preserve that state, she stopped thinking more than was necessary. There were too many things she didn't want to feel. Too many truths she didn't want to know. Rhea was content with being closed in a small circle. She didn't care for things outside it, where she could barely perceive them. However,
もう、そんなのは嫌。
it was time to see, listen, and think.
見つけたよ。声を。
Loud and clear.
死んじゃやだ。藤井君。
She begged her voice to reach him. The Spear of Destiny and the Blade of Decapitation soared through the air. The two grand spiritual powers mingled in Bird's conflict, tremendous enough to make the very space around us tremble and spark. But the balance between their powers would be short-lived. Both our Ananerabe broke through the pressure of our opponent's soul and bit into our vital points. The result?
やはり足りなかった。
Shit! My blade dug into Reinhardt's neck, broke his skin and cut into his flesh, but failed to reach bone.
何か迷いでもあったかな。わずかだが届かんぞ。
I, on the other hand,
私の勝ちだ。
had the Holy Lance piercing my chest, its surgical spiritual power torturing my body. Yep, I imagine. You done got pierced, boy. My vision turned dim, my consciousness on the verge of being consumed by darkness. Reinhardt's thrust was lethal beyond any description.
興ざめとは言わん。
Even while wet with his own gushing blood, Reinhardt smiled, perfectly satisfied with the situation.
私の思いが勝ったのだ。K の信仰に勝ったのだ。これはその結果に過ぎん。ああ、今こそ言おう。怒りの火、来たれり。私がすべてを飲み込む。
That's not good. No! That was the one thing I had to prevent no matter what! Allowing it to happen was not an option. I promised to defeat him even at the cost of my life, and yet...
K の女神もまず第一に食ってやろう。
Oh shit! A roaring laughter echoed throughout the area, thick with destructive confidence in his realm's all-consuming spread. Why? What did I lack? I wasn't hesitant in the least. This is the only thing I could do. There was no other way. Emanations washed away other emanations. The only way for me and Marie to coexist was to stay here for all eternity. I could never tolerate that. After all, Marie had always been alone. I wanted her to see the world and its people. She would attend school and take part in the party we all agreed on. I wished to get her there, and to accomplish that I had to become a paving stone for her realm. There was no other method, no other path I could take. I had to defeat him here and now, even if it cost me my life.
さらば安らかに眠る私の恩敵盟友の遺産よ。ケイラのビビしさ英語を胸に留め置くと約束しよう。
His torrent of cataclysmic spiritual power surged forth again, aching to kill me and devour all creation, Marie included.
させない。
I couldn't stomach such an ending. Wringing out the final droplets of my power, I mustered the will to keep on fighting, preparing to defeat him while destroying myself through the explosive surge of spiritual power housed within my blade.
だから。
Huh?
あんたはそんなことばっかり。
Oh my god! Right before I went through with my intention.
死んじゃやだよ、藤井君。
A voice echoed in my mind.
手伝うから、手伝って。
Though faint, felt entirely too real. Oh! Oh, I'm pretty sure this is different! The blood gushing out of his neck became something else. Upon realizing what it was, Reinhardt's eyes opened wide. A spray of brilliance like that of shining stars, amounting to several thousand at first, then growing to tens of thousands or more. They were all human souls. Now hold on a minute. What is the name of this so I can jam to this, please? The very lives he once devoured and ravaged. I couldn't believe my eyes. Reinhard Heydrich's leadership and domination, the power to command his countless slaves of strife, was without equal. No one could forcefully tear away a soul that had once been consumed by the Devil's Castle. No, I was wrong. There was a single exception. Oh! The womb and birth canal meant to deliver Gladsheim. It was effectively a pipe linking two different worlds. Thus, it could emit as well as absorb. It was the opposite of delivery, an unbirth. Ray was doing exactly what Hisoka did in Berlin, but with the worlds reversed. She used the hole in the singularity to send a part of him back to Shambhala. Obviously, it was the part containing the souls of the 800,000 Sudahara inhabitants, all of which were devoured on the eve of the castle's descent. The blade went even deeper into his neck. The sudden loss of such a vast number of souls would inevitably have a tremendous effect. Shambhala's population was exactly the same as the amount of Waffen's SS making up Reinhardt's core. Sacrifices meant to feed every single one of them had disappeared. An army without supplies would only collapse and crumble. Even the Holy Lance, forced into his enemy's chest, lost a significant part of its lethality. The guillotine dug ever deeper into his neck, and Reinhardt had no means of stopping it. The swastika wouldn't disappear as long as Rei Himura was alive. It had been weakened to the point of uselessness, but that didn't matter to an Onan'erbe meant to wield other Onan'erbe.
そうか
So that was how the girl chose to act. The boy had the will to defeat the beast. She used it to urge him to summon this result.
だが死ぬぞ
Rhea forced a damaged birth canal to work by borrowing another's power. There was no way it could bear such exertion. The swastika would finally burst and the user would be reduced to nothing. Just like Isak.
いいの
Only Reinhardt could hear the girl's voice, both strong and bashful.
それが私の勝利です
Oh my god. She wanted to meet the others again and win by their side, and for that purpose, she searched for what she could do. Rhea didn't avert her eyes from the truth. She looked, thought, and acted.
綾瀬さんが声大きいから
She is. Everyone was awake by now, and they all knew where to go.
私たちは迷わないもう一度みんなで一緒に集まりたいから
Oh, I'm getting shivers and I'm freaking hyped! Thus, she couldn't let Fuji, the guest of honor, die. He deserved a good scolding, too.
さようならハイドリヒ教
The girl knew what she was going to tell Reinhardt and had utmost confidence in her words. A person she could have ended up as, had circumstances been different. The uncelebrated bastard child.
あなたの範囲はイザークを消したことです私を助けようとしてくれた藤井君の気持ちそれにイザークが勝つことをあなたは信じてあげなかった
If Isak had received at least one word of encouragement from the one he believed to be his father, Rei would surely have disappeared, and this outcome would be impossible.
たとえ何百万人引き連れても
No matter how great the number of souls he commanded.
たった一人でしかなかったあなたの負けです
The bladed decapitation finally cut through the bone! Reinhard Heydrich savored the coldness running through his neck with all his being. And finally came to know his own death and defeat. Her hand suddenly stopped. While it confused the man, the girl thought it was only obvious.
私
Indeed, there was nothing strange about it. Marie now knew her craving, and became aware of its meaning. It was the natural course of action. Everyone would likely do the same. The man before her was the only one who couldn't understand such subtleties.
ねえカリオストラ
As a form of gratitude for all he had given her, she would teach him something. Marie looked up at the puzzled man, smiling in an impish manner, and spoke a certain word she had learned not so long ago.
あのね
Doing such things with a person other than one's beloved.
不倫なんだよいけないんだからね
Oh, that was why she couldn't touch him. There was someone else she wanted to embrace. Right after she said that, the far-off end of the split sea began to roar loudly. She looked at its direction and saw the sea returning to normal. Was it over? Was he okay? Did he have any severe injuries? Marie couldn't contain herself. She wanted to embrace him as soon as possible. While her shout still echoed, she turned around and ran straight towards the boundless ocean. Watching Marie's back as she left, Mercurius found himself thoroughly absent-minded. The scene before him was far too ridiculous to even be processed. His plot was meticulous designed, forged of all his blood and sweat. His plans had yet to fail him in the past, and no matter how much he eased up his grip, no one would ever escape the palm of his hand. Consequently, what had just unfolded before him was an impossibility. Had he known what men called pride, the shock would have left him shattered into countless pieces. But that was exactly why. Something alien escaped his lips. Of course, he knew full well what it was, and he had done it on numerous occasions in the past. Fucking foreknowledge hitting me again. It's goddamn Reinhardt! Again! However, it was an absolute first. It had never happened before. It was his first time doing it, so it came out blatantly shoddy. He wished to somehow express his emotions, yet what poured forth from his lips sounded akin to astonishment. Indeed, it might have been just that. He couldn't tell, for he had never experienced it either. Mercurius no longer cared. He only wished to laugh, and hoped to begin grieving. His being was the olden world, worn out and weary. Thus, the sound leaving his mouth was akin to a dying man's final cry. With a roaring laughter that shook the heavens, Karl Kraft came to know jealousy. It was the very first time he mocked himself in earnest. He watched as the miracle, no, the gem that made it happen, was still greatening the distance between them. While he melted into the foaming curtain of the unknown, robbed of his corporeal form. The momentum from swinging my right arm made me fall to my knees as I became painfully aware that I used up all my energy. I defeated Reinhardt. Despite my consciousness being half gone, I clearly recalled a certain event. I never knew saying names could be this straining. Victory was mine, and I had them to thank for it.
Kasumi!
Her voice reached me as well. She was still waiting for us on the rooftop. But I... Oh god.
ケイラは勝利した。胸を張りたまえよ。敗北のしがいがない。
I looked up to see Reinhardt smiling as he always did. The vast number of souls composing his being had grown light and were fading away.
な、他者を信じるとはそれほど大事なことなのかね。それを持たぬことが私の敗因であり、それに支えられたのが K の勝因であるのなら、ぜひ証明してもらいたい。どうやらカールも敗れたようだが誓いたまえ。勝者の義務だ。我らの敗北が真に絶対のものであったとケイラは示してみせねばならない。それがなされなければ私はまた戻ってくる。負けていないことになるのだからな。
Holy shit. Reinhardt's corporeal form wavered as he gradually faded away. He had left me with the promise of his return, should I fail to prove the thoroughness of my victory. His words, like a curse, etched into my soul.
後悔はない。後悔などさせてくれるな。私を倒したその力こそ真に最強でなければならない。私は取るに足らんものに敗れたわけではないのだと。そう信じさせてもらいたいな。
ああ、
I nodded.
信じてろ。お前とはもう二度と会いたくない。
ではその誓いにこそ。
He gave his blessings.
ジーク、はい。
How oddly fitting for that. Seriously, this song is freaking great. With those words as his last, Reinhardt scattered into the light. So I had to make him believe. Placing my hand on my chest, I stood up. Thought I was about to lose and die. The lance pierced my chest and almost reduced my very soul to ash. I could not have survived without their aid, and as such, words couldn't express my gratitude. I didn't want to die after all. But the cost had been far too... Marie. She was running over to me. I could hear her voice, but didn't see her anywhere. So, not knowing what to do...
Marie! Marie!
I gave in to my urges and dashed across the Toilet Sea. Speeding through the sand, the girl ran to see and embrace the boy. She had found the right answer and knew what she had to do. Ren had taught her the joy of touch. He enveloped the girl and loved her for what she was. Marie wished to fill him with that very joy. She would use the very treasures he granted her to embrace all that he was. The girl harbored no worry and was certain that she could always be together with him. They would never be separated again. However,
私を信じて。
Marie wanted Ren to have faith in her. She hoped he would believe in her dependence on him, and her wish to be with him. She was glad to have him by her side and couldn't even begin to express her gratitude for having met him. Marie wanted to be by his side as well. She thought of how to express those feelings, how to make him understand. The girl could state without a doubt that she loved him with all her heart. However, she was also scared. After all, I knew I had to disappear. Marie was supposed to be the last one among us. I didn't want her to hesitate, hoping she wouldn't be considerate of me. Didn't she wish to attend school? To meet more people than ever before? If so, I had no place here. My craving had no place here. I didn't want to force her to feel an unsightly love that treasured nothing but another's eternal presence. I wanted her to become happy. So I pled for Marie to let me be a stupid show-off this one last time.
俺は
I was a coward who couldn't bear the idea of being hated by her. She was scared. Marie dreaded to find out what he would think about her choice. Emanating would make the girl spread too far to see anything. She wondered if Ren would still love her. He might even become unable to feel her by his side. And she didn't even want to consider the possibility of him forgetting her and becoming ignorant of her presence. That thought filled her with more dread than anything. I was afraid. I couldn't bear to consider the possibility that this choice might make her cry. However, it was something that had to be done. I wished to make her happy. She wanted to apologize. Uttering a silent word of apology, I hoped she would allow this one act of selfishness. The promise I had made to everyone wasn't something I could give up on. Kasumi was still calling out to us, and it didn't seem like she'd shut up anytime soon. I dreaded to think what she'd do if we ended up not showing up. I knew I was about to disappear, but I would be really glad if Marie gave me a chance to fulfill that promise. I hope she'd be okay with me stopping time at the moment I melted into her ocean. That would be my very final Alsa sprach Zarathustra. She was stronger than me. Marie clearly had what it took to envelop this new world. I would always be by her side. I had no doubts that melting into the girl I loved was the greatest ending of all. So I implored her to emanate her earnest prayer. The girl wished to see her friends. Their victory belonged to all of them. Kasumi's voice reached her ears as well. Thus she would take herself and Ren into the sunlight he had always yearned for. Marie would embrace him there, and envelop everything he was. She wished he would forgive her silence. The girl truly loved him and believed this moment to be eternal. This would be her very final sin as l'enfant de la punition. She would always be by his side. The girl had no doubts that embracing the man she loved was the greatest ending of all. Thus she pled for him, to let her fulfill his desire.
帰ろう
To the place of our promise.
時よ
O time, if only for this moment. As that wish went through my mind, I felt Marie's world began to expand, its warmth cradling my whole being like the midday sun. Jeez. Its rays lovingly caressing my cheek. The wind swept far and wide, carrying a scent most gentle in its embrace. I was lying down, which made me assume I had been asleep until now. The material under me felt both cold and stiff, but my head was placed on something soft, tender, and warm. I first assumed it to be a pillow, but upon realizing that the sensation was somewhat familiar, I opened my eyes to confirm it. I felt as though this had happened before. Pretty sure the last time was when... Digging through my memories, the truth had finally dawned upon me. As I opened my eyes, I beheld... Knew it!
起きた
I knew it was going to be something similar to that CG. Marie. Just as I had expected. She was right there in front of me. Dazzling sunlight flooded my vision, its rays appearing like golden dust as they beamed through Marie's locks. I was right. It really did suit her.
どうしたの
いや
The rays of the noon sun fit her far better than the crimson of twilight. Having that little consideration of mine be proven right made me feel a tiny bit happy.
何変なレン。なんで笑うの
そりゃ笑うだろ
I was overcome with relief. Our fight, victory, and the choice we had made. Everything that happened was reality. Her presence here proved that without a shadow of a doubt.
帰って来られたんだよな
Her blooming smile nearly dazzled me.
かっこよかったよレン。
That entire sequence was, well, cool does not even begin to describe it.
マリーもすごかっただろ感謝してる
And with that gratitude in mind,
ご褒美とか欲しくないっていうより俺が欲しいんだけど
something physical and simple enough to be done right here and now.
でもその
いいよな
それは
Why was she getting flustered at this point? Well, I mean, it was cute in its own right, so I ended up placing my hand on her face, brought her lips closer to mine, and...
ちょっと待ってダメだって
またない
I took a slightly aggressive approach, just as our lips were about to meet. Oh, god damn it. Huh?
おま、何吹いてんだよ。静かに。
Of course they're watching. Wait, what the hell?
行くよ行きますよほらガツッといっちゃいますよ見ものですよ
Damn it, Kasumi! Was it just me, or were we surrounded by a bunch of idiots whispering some stupid shit? Yeah, that sounds about right.
がっつきすぎ聖獣みたい
Sakurai! There was that voice without a hint of charm in it.
寝起きは反応しちゃうって本当なんだね
The fuck, Himuro? Then there was her muttering something in her usual tone.
マリー
だって
Having discerned what I meant to say just from my gaze, Marie grew all teary-eyed.
レンが何も言わないから当然気づいてるって思ってたし
Oh, dear God.
そもそもそういう約束だったじゃない
The promise. Oh, right. Of course I hadn't forgotten. Remembering it, I felt happy that this happened. It was a joyous celebration, so maybe being used for a little joke wasn't that.
思うかこら
I jumped to my feet in an instant.
い
God damn it. What? Himuro, what the hell are you doing? What kind of fucking pose is that? Oh my god. God damn it. The mood lightened in mere seconds. These damn idiots were actually cheering.
Yay.
Can we get that again real quick?
Yay.
I'm sorry. Himuro, that should be said with emotion.
Yay.
I'll give her an A for effort. You tried. I need to say it if you're embarrassed, damn it.
なあおい、すげえ聞きたくないんだが。
I might have messed up more than I thought.
全部見てた？
もち
の
息合いすぎだからそこ全部見られてたよ。
Okay, I got it. They watched the whole thing.
ご褒美とか欲しくない？
Oh god, stop.
っていうより俺が欲しいんだけど。
がっつきすぎ、聖獣みたい。
なんでそこで私のモノマネなのよ。
Good question.
かっこよかったよレイ。
Holy fuck, did I wish they would shut up. They pissed me off like hell.
俺がかっこよかったのはマジだろうが。
I'm not gonna deny it.
うわー、自画自賛来ましたよこの人。
でも本当にかっこよかったよ。
おまけに夫婦で組んでるし。
羨ましいんだろうが。お前出番なかったもんな。
Oh dear god.
うん確かにね。
ちょっとレアさん。
よしよしよし、まあ落ち着けコロポックル。
誰がコロポックルか。
Kind of our munchkin.
そういう趣旨で行くんなら技能賞、関東賞、主勲賞とか決めようぜ。
わすごいスルーしたよ。
He kinda did.
ああ、あれに対処する時のコツはスルーだ。
だからしょうがないじゃない。本当のことなんだし。
I can tell. Well, anyway.
これが打ち上げってことでいいんだよな。
おや。
ガッと飲むべし。
一人だけ保護者同伴のやつがいたけどね。
Guardians? No way.
なんだよお前。もしかして親でも連れてきてたのか？
Oh my god. Did you bring them back? Did you bring back Kai and Beatrice?
いや違う、別に親じゃないっていうかもう帰ったわよ。
Ah, damn it.
返しちゃったんでしょ、恥ずかしがっちゃって。
うるさいわね。っていうかあなた面識もないのに慣れ慣れし。
うわ、寒いわそのノリ。ここはもう都合よく10年来の連れみたいにしとけよ。
レンが起きるちょっと前までその人たちいたんだよ。お菓子もらっちゃったいい人。
え、マジで？どんな人？
金髪の超美人。
Fucking knew it.
ものごっついイケメン。
羨ましいね。
Fucking knew it.
まあ
Onjo nudged Sakurai with her elbow, making the latter flush bright red. I was disappointed I didn't get to see them, but if fate willed it, we'd meet again sooner or later.
で、話飛びまくってたけど。
3賞受賞？
Oh yeah. Kinda have to go over those, don't we?
そうだそれ。やるんならやろうぜ。何もらえるのか知らないけど。
なんもねえよ。栄光だ栄光。
Fair enough.
誰が決めるの？
Himuro?
俺マジ独断と偏見。
Ah, damn it.
うわ
Rude.
なんなのこの人。
That was just the way he was. As some became disinterested and others stayed excited, Shiro began his biased award ceremony. Honjo was the one doing the narration.
はい。じゃあまず技能賞。これはテクニカルなセンスが光った人に贈られます。
Okay.
戦い。そう、それは一発千金を引く刹那の駆け引き。修羅の巷を軽やかに疾走する氷の躍動。猛禽の眼光。
This feels good. This just feels good.
長い。あと14歳みたいな単語が多すぎて聞く気にならない。
Oof. Harsh. And in our case, her denial of that kind of language felt wrong in more ways than one. Onjo dropped her shoulders in a downhearted manner and chose to keep it short. And so?
というわけで技能賞。該当者は
俺アンドエリー。
Fair enough. Ta-da!
いきなり
なんだよ、文句あんのかよ。
Bruh, I've really got no problem with it. You two just fucking knocked it out of the park. You guys, you definitely earned that reward.
いや、まあ。
文句はないね。うん、ないと思う。
Is it just me or does Himura look like she's perma-drunk?
てめえら、俺がどんだけクールに立ち回ったか知らねえんだろ。絶対ファン増えてんぞ。かけてもいい。
Like I said, if you didn't have fans before, you certainly got fans now.
あんたはすぐそういうこと言うから。
わかった。それはそれでいいから続き行けよ。
After I heaved a light sigh, Honjo cleared her throat and continued.
はい。じゃあ次は関東賞ね。要するに頑張った人。さあそれは
And Kasumi had a bit of a stroke. It was best if we didn't interrupt her.
桜井圭。
え
おう。
なるほど。うん、まあ。
そうみたい。
I think it fits. Unlike with the last award, everyone seemed to fully agree with this one.
あ、その、ありがとう。
You did good, Sakurai. He was actually getting embarrassed.
みんな依存はない？
ないな。
ないよ。認める。
Excellent. It was for fighting spirit, after all.
ボッコボッコのボッコボッコのボッコボッコにボコられても諦めない。
口ではいつもバカにされ、喧嘩しちゃ負けて。
っていうか、一回でも勝ったっけ？
She technically won against Eleanor. Kind of. Sakurai's temple began to twitch menacingly.
じゃあ次は主勲賞。すっごい金星あげた人ね。さあそれは
We could easily go with the obvious and say Ren, but I'm gonna put my vote toward Marie.
氷室レア。
Actually, that's even more fitting now that I think about it. She pretty much said fuck you to Reinhardt and just boom! So, fair enough, Rhea wins that one.
すごいね。
Well, I had a hunch it would go to her.
当然。
God damn it. Wow, whoa, the hubris. She was actually puffing her chest out as if there could have been no other result.
あざーす先輩。
あんたがいなけりゃ全滅エンド直行でした。
あざーす。
あたーす。
Dunks?
らっしゃっせー。
What did he just say?
ありがとうございます。
Sakurai was the only one who handled it normally.
ひざまずけ。
No. Okay, enough of that.
藤井くん、感謝してる？
そりゃはい。
From the bottom of my heart.
先輩がいてくれてよかったですよ。
I couldn't have been more honest about that.
うん。そう言ってくれると嬉しいよ。
Imuro made a thin smile, and so the award ceremony ended.
ねえ、私は
残念賞だろ。
いや、もうそういうのやめようよ。
I somehow began to understand the situation.
冗談だよ、かすみ。お前は優秀賞だ。
本当に？
ああ、だってお前のおかげじゃねえかよ。この場があるのは。
Indeed, she was the one who made this event possible. It's thanks to her that we found our way here.
かずみちゃんの声うるさかったからね。私飛び起きちゃったし。
私も同じ。あんまり叫んでるからやっぱり来ちゃった。
ありがとう、綾瀬さん。
Well, it worked. Confused, Kasumi gave a nod, and with that our promise was fulfilled.
優秀賞にはプレゼントがあるんだよね。
Onjo smiled, pointing to the edge of the rooftop.
あそこのドアくぐったらプレゼント置いてあるから。
取りに行ったらいいよ。
ほら行け。
お尻叩かないでよ。
きっと気に入ると思うわ。
わかったよ。じゃあ取ってくるから。
And so Kasumi walked off to the door Honjo was pointing at.
変なドッキリだったら怒るよ。
That was the last thing she said before leaving. And once she passed through the door, she never came back. Seeing her off filled my heart with relief. I'm sure everyone else felt the same way. I had no doubts that it was best for her. After all, she was the only exception among us. She'd probably get mad at me for excluding her again, but I hope she understood how much I truly appreciated her. The others here would no doubt agree.
で、最優秀賞のお二人さん。
Jiro looked at me and Marie with his usual grin on his face.
二人にはプレゼントっていうかさ。
Honjo went out of her way to wear our school uniform and it didn't suit her at all.
言っておくことがあるの。
Imuro's demeanor was the same as always.
どっちもすごいバカ。
And Sakurai never missed an opportunity to piss me off.
お前ら。
They were all ready. I knew that much. There's no way I couldn't.
心配すんな。お前らは大丈夫だよ。
How could he say that? After all, I was about to...
自己完結しちゃってるし。まあ気持ちはわかるけどね。
どっちも相手を傷つけたくないって相手のこと信じてないよね。
藤井君は自分が死ぬと思ってるし。
マリーちゃんはレンが悲しむと思ってる。
だからってお互い黙ってちゃなんも伝わらんすわ。
彼女が君を死なすわけないし。
あなたの彼氏はそんなに猟犬の狭い男？
Marie and I could do nothing but stay silent as they all expressed their disillusionment.
お前ら何を？
私はだって
うるせえ。
だーこ。
バカップル。
恋愛方向音痴。
Well, excuse me! What were they getting at?
ちゃんと話し合え。
There it is. They went and made it blatant.
待てよ。
I reflexively extended my hand, but it couldn't reach any of them.
待てよお前ら。言いっぱなしで終わりかよ。
やだ、ちょっと待ってみんな。
Couldn't even tell if they were far off or if we were being distanced from them. White light began to gradually envelop the entire span of my vision. But before it turned blank, I saw them.
あばよ。喧嘩はお前の勝ちでいいわ。
いい経験したから後悔してないし。私初めて生まれてよかったって思ったよ。
本当にありがとう。あなたに会えてよかった。
Their voices grew more distant as the seconds passed. Couldn't even see their outlines anymore.
バカ。
Those goddamn dumbasses, how could they mess with us like that?
言いたいことばっかり言いやがって。
With them leaving like they did, this memory would haunt me for the rest of my life. Did they have any idea how burdening this was?
くそ。
I just couldn't bear having them walk out on us like that. Was that their way of getting me to understand? Well, it worked. They were completely right. Just as they had said.
マリー。
There were things I had to tell her.
きっと許してくれないと思ったの。
I gradually opened my eyes to find myself exchanging an embrace with her, just like in the previous moment. What happened on the rooftop lasted for less than a second. As she emanated, Marie made our dream come true. The reality was completely different. Chiro and Deli were gone. Yumuro passed away while Sakurai returned to those that were dear to her. We put our lives on the line and fought with all we had, but in the end, only Kasumi was left. Now, we were about to lose what meant the most to us. Each other. That thought scared me to no end.
俺もマリーに嫌われると思ってたんだ。
They were right. We'd been acting for each other's sake without believing in one another. The possibility of being hated left us both afraid of speaking up and expressing ourselves.
俺は死ぬしかないって思ってたんだよ。
What a narcissistic type of heroism.
流出するなら俺よりマリーの方が絶対にいい。それに学校行きたがってたろ。マリーがここから出られるならそれが一番いいって思った。そのために俺はきっと消えちまうけど。
I actually thought that was for the best.
黙ってた。ごめん。
私もだよ。
Marie placed her arms around me, her voice growing teary.
私の中から流れる心は抱きしめたいっていう願い。レンが教えてくれた気持ち。レンが好きなみんなを包んで守りたいって思う気持ち。だからレンはいなくなったりしない。私があなたを包むから。自分は死ぬしかないとか思わないで。
Upon reaching the emanation stage, Marie said that she would embrace everyone. Even my stupid craving for a standstill. I decided to do something really stupid without even realizing that.
ほんとバカだな、俺は。
Who knew what would have happened if Shiro and the gang hadn't urged me to talk to her? The very fact that I automatically excluded the possibility of us living together made me feel like the scum of the earth.
私だってバカだよ。私が流れちゃうときっと広がりすぎて見えなくなっちゃう。いるのに抱きしめてるのにレンはそれを感じてくれなくなっちゃうかもしれない。私なんかもういないって思っちゃうかもしれない。そう考えたら怖かったの。怖くなったら信じられなくなったの。きっとレンは 許してくれない。私のことが嫌いになる。でもね、やらなきゃいけなかったの。レンをみんなのところに返したいから。やらないといけなくて。だけど嫌われるの怖くて黙ってたの。ごめん。
In the end, we were both thinking similar things, making similarly stupid assumptions. But now that we'd cleared it up, no problems remained. Marie's world would soon overflow and emanate. No matter what shape it might take, I believed it would cradle everything, like the gentle rays of the sun. No, I was certain of it.
俺、マリーが好きだ。
私も大好き。
And on her lips danced the most beautiful smile I'd seen from her.
私がいなくなることなんて絶対にないと信じて。いつもあなたのそばにいるから。
Words were no longer needed. We kissed each other with endless passion. Even with her corporeal form gone, I believed would always be within Marie's embrace. I begged for this moment to last long enough for me to feel her warmth for just a while longer, so I could make it eternal and remember it till the end of time. Halt, O time, for you are beautiful beyond measure. She was the only thing dominating my mind. I thanked her with all the heart I could muster. I would live on as I did until then, and savor the eternal brace of her light. Irae Amantes Amentes. Well, I'm not even entirely sure how long I'd been going at this, but I'm guessing it's well over 2 hours by this point. Okay, so... final thoughts on the Marie route. I think this is by far my favorite. So, okay, this seems to be the commonplace. Like, every time I experience a new ending to a certain story, I find myself liking this ending even more. It keeps fucking happening, like, oh, I like the Sakurai route a little bit better than Kasumi's route. Oh, goddammit, I like Marie's route even more. Jesus Christ! Then again, this one had well, I guess you could consider it a much happier ending. For one, they actually freaking defeated Reinhard. So, I just... that was just... oh my goodness. Battle of Gods, that's definitely an apt description for it. Oh my goodness. And there's still one more route that we have to do. And that's not including whatever side story gets unlocked from this. Because I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to get another side story unlocked after this. But, okay. That had to have been one of the... okay, I'm drawing comparisons again, which might upset some people, but I keep comparing this novel to Umineko. Because again, Umineko is like the #1 experience that I... hello! Hold on! Hold on! Halt, oh my thoughts. There's something going on here.
つまり、私だけが彼女の愛から外されたということになる。
Maybe.
移動する得意点。消し去られるでもなく、包まれるでもなく、私は誰とも関われぬまま、永劫さまよい続けるだろう。 だがまあ、しかし不満はない。君と同じくこの世界を見守っていくとするよ。蚊帳の外ではあるがね。そうかよ。
Oh! I opened my eyes.
せっかくフランス組んだりまで来たっていうのに。
Visiting Marie's grave, I'm assuming? And sighed with a mixture of disinterest and vexation.
だいたい誰とも関われないって言うんなら、なんで俺のところに来られるんだよ。例外は例外同士。君も本来得意点だ。ならばこれくらいの接触はできるだろう。心配はいらない。二度とせん。ただふとね、君は知りたがっているのではないかと思っただけだ。意味のないことかもしれんが、それは君が今やっていることも同じだろう。彼女の墓など参ってどうする？別に墓参りしてるわけじゃないさ。
After all, she wasn't even dead. I could clearly feel Marie's embrace.
単に見たかっただけだよ。マリーが生まれた国を。
Saint Malo. It's yours. I wish to see everything with my own eyes. There was nothing more to it.
で、何を教えてくれるんだ？そもそもの疑問、君は思ったはずだ。なぜ自分だけが彼女に触れられる？マキナから聞いたはずだ。己がどういうものなのか。なお知りたくはないのかね。
Oh, that's right.
その魂がかつて何者であったのか、そこにすべての答えがある。
A number of flower petals danced in the wayward breeze, as I thought that Kasumi, who had left in Japan, was probably complaining right about now. I
興味がない。
made it short and clear.
ほう。俺は俺だ。それでいいんだよ。
I wouldn't get much out of knowing it anyway.
何かお前が教えたがってそうだから聞いてやらない。
The man behind me choked up a bit.
いい答えだ。ならばもう用はないな。ああ、さっさとどっか行ってくれ。
He couldn't do anything at this point. Though impossible to be slain, he remained semi-permanently exiled from Marie's realm. This bastard would stay harmless as long as there were no new emanations. I had no idea how much time I had left, but I would protect Marie and her world for as long as I drew breath.
はあ、心配はいらん。私も彼女を塗り替えようとするものなど許さんよ。では、お別れだ。君らの愛を祝福し、先達から面白い事実を伝えよう。
As I considered what nonsense he'd spout this time, his actual words caught me off guard.
彼女はいずれ、己の触覚を生み出せるようになる。
Oh.
私がそうであったように、それがどんな形でいつになるのかはわからんがね。
He basically said that
また会える。また会えるかもしれない。と信じることが重要だ。焼けたよ、藤井蓮。本当に、本当にね。さらば、我が歌劇の英雄。さらば、我が愛しの君よ。彼女に会える日がもし来たら、私がよろしく言っていたと伝えてくれ。
somewhat prideful, Mercurius finally disappeared. I could see her again.
そうだな。
I'd believed the day would come. In all honesty, I had no idea how the current world worked. The eternal recurrence was washed away. So where would people's souls go now? What happened to Shiro and Timuro?
なあ、マリ。
Being French, she was probably unaware of it, but Japan had this concept known as the cycle of transmigration. It wasn't about repeating the same things over and over, but being reborn sometime into the future. If her world had a similar design, wouldn't it be possible for me to meet everyone else again? Our ages would probably be all over the place. The countries we'd be born in would likely be different too.
打ち上げの二次会。やるならそれも面白そうだろ。
Aw. A moment later.
レン
Oh! I could feel her.
いいね。それ。
Oh. Standing behind me. So, she liked my idea.
じゃあ、かすみに長生きしとけって言わなきゃな。
We would surely meet again. As I stood there, cradled by sunlight, its warmth conveyed that my wish would not be in vain. Other story, Omnia Vincent Amor unlocked. Oh my god. Okay. Have I told you guys how happy I am that I got into this novel? Have I told you that? Have I thanked you guys enough for kind of recommending this to me? I guess I know what we're going to be doing next. I believe we're supposed to be doing the Omnia story, I believe. Well, we'll have to do that later. Let's see, where is... Let me just enjoy this as it plays for me. Now, where do I begin? I know that there is one more route, and that's Himuro's route. I'm not sure if my opinion will change, but this one definitely had it felt like this route had much more heart put into it. And I think that's because supposedly this is like initially the original true ending, and then when they did Irae Amantes Amentes, Rei Himuro's route was added. So I'm guessing that this was the quote-unquote initial true ending of the first release of this story. And it certainly felt it. So I'm only looking forward to kind of seeing how the Amuro route plays out. That entire final chapter, that humongous freaking chapter. Perfecto. Utterly great. And I can't even come up with it was fantastic. Nope, go back. And I'm actually left shaking. That was an actually incredibly satisfying ending right there. Somewhat bittersweet, but incredibly hopeful and happy. And for this route, I finally got to see what Emanation was all about. And that shit was batshit insane. And for once, I got to see Reinhard be defeated, and Mercurius was quote-unquote defeated, and it was incredibly fitting. This is just one of the most batshit insane novels that I've ever gotten to read, and it's absolutely fantastic. You know what? At this point, I might as well just say it's open up a secondary first place. And I know that, okay, this is immediately first place, smack dab, immediately right next to Umineko. I cannot rate either of these novels above the other. That's how much I fucking love this story. I know some people might be a little upset that I'm kind of not rating it much higher, but this is literally my penultimate on top of the list. There has yet to be anything to surpass or equal to Umineko in my experience. This is equal to that. Perfectly balanced. Even with some of the negatives that probably might come around with it. I mean, well, there's really not that many negatives at all. I guess it's just, I think the thing that turns people away is just because of the fact that the bad guys are Nazis. I bet you that's probably the biggest reason. And honestly, they're missing out because they drop it from that. They are extremely missing out, man. And I'm grateful that I didn't fall into that category and I got to experience this absolute. It's just so fucking good. Sorry. Alright, so I think according to my guide, I need to go to read that Omnia. There it is. Literally, Omnia Vincent Amor. I believe I'm supposed to read that next. However, after going at this for almost 3 hours, I'm going to go to bed and having Einsatz play. And I'm just going to relax for a bit. So if you all like this, be sure to let me know. That was the Marie route, and it was fantastic. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Auf Wiedersehen, I'm going to sleep. Hello there everybody, Sabato92 here, and if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you guys like my content, then maybe you'd like to check out another channel who I think deserves equal attention. So click that Nightmare emblem and check out that channel, or go to the links in the description down below. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.